Hey folks, welcome back to When the Paint Stops Flying. Do not adjust your set. Yes, that is correct. You are looking at a Tipman X7 Phenom. And why are you looking at a Tipman X7 Phenom? I'll tell you why. Apart from maintenance and the obvious do's and don'ts about paintball markers or what have you, I want to bring a new segment to the show. Is basically a strip down of what I've got. Not only what I've got, I want you guys to send in videos. If you guys got DIY videos of whatever marker, breakdown, servicing, upgrades, I want you guys to send it to me and I'll have a look at it and then we'll post it. The aim is to help the paintball community. I know there are many tutorials out there on how to service a blah 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 whatever, but this is not just your ordinary how to service a Tipman X7 Phenom. Through the process, I will be going through the mods that I've done to it. If you've got a marker like this, there are mods readily still available out there that you can make this marker perform better, if I can call it that, than it actually is. Right, let's jump into it. Very, very, very easy to service this marker. I have to admit, it's one of the most easy accessible markers that I've actually had the pleasure to work on. It's simple. You pop out that pin, you're going to pop out that pin, you're going to pop out that comes out basically, and yeah, all these things, and that of course pop out, and then once you get that out apart, then you get access to what is called the flex valve, the heart of the phenom. Right, as you can see, I've removed the trigger frame, I've moved the back cap, I've moved everything. Right, what you got to do now is remove that, and you have to get the flex valve out there. And as I said, at the same time, you're going to have to remove that gauge plug there, and then the flex valve will all come loose. But it's very easy. You'll see as soon as you pop this out, while you're doing it, keep pressure on at the back over here. I don't know, you get some focus. You're going to have to keep a bit of pressure there, pushing it in, and then remove that gauge plug. And then this flex valve is going to slide out very, very easy. That's going to slide out there. You just pop it out and then you have full access to your flex valve. You're having a look at now is the heart of the phenom, the flex valve. This is where all the magic happens, if you want to call it that. Those of you that know the phenom very well, you'll see that something is different, something is amiss here. You don't have your standard X7 phenom bolt, but we got a Bad Karma Tech T Bad Karma softer bolt. Now the reason why I opted for a bolt like this is the following. I experienced a lot of chops and breaks through the cyclone feeder, and it's cost me endless money to get this marker exactly to the point where I'm satisfied, where a certain amount of chops are tolerated, let me put it that way. But let me tell you what the mods that you can do. Right, on your cyclone feed, you can go for the squishy paddles. Squishy paddles, you are maybe spoiled for choice in the sense of you get the original squishy ones, which are the light green ones. These are the Lapco ones. It's got a little thing inside there, almost like a little gasket type of thing that prevents your squishy paddles from sliding over. Those of you that have the cyclone feeder will know exactly what I'm talking about. Sometimes it's almost like it slips a gear, it goes over. Now they say the Lapco ones are better than the original squishy. I have not had the original squishy, but I can with honesty say I have not had one problem with these squishies. In other words, if it's going over far or skipping a gear, if whatever. Nice thing about the Lapco kit is you get different hardness. You get the extra hard, and then you get the medium, and then you get the soft one. I opted for this one because this one works nicely. I think almost this is the medium one. I'm speaking under correction. But yeah, that is on the squishy side. Now, when you actually open up those screws there and you remove this entire unit by removing that Allen key bolt over there. This entire unit comes out. Open it. You have to open up the cyclone feeder because a lot of time paint and gunk gets into the cavities here, and it just becomes a good old mess. Right, mods that you can do inside here. All right, let's start over here. I opted for the exhaust housing. It's a quick exhaust housing. In other words, it's almost like a free flow. It gets rid of your gases quicker. That's why it's ported over there. So it releases there and it gives it extra sound. It sounds vicious. When this thing is firing, trust me, people will know it's you firing. Inside here, they call it the lightning rod. It's made out of brass. It seems to be made out of brass. Well, it's a brass color. It's no longer the plastic piece that you are accustomed to inside here. Now that runs over here to a gear, or a little tear-shaped gear, if you want to call it that. Standard ones are plastic. I changed that out for the Lapco stainless steel one, along with the shaft. And your squishy paddles actually ride on that shaft. Now that shaft, I've also replaced it with a stainless steel one because the original one is plastic. So I changed everything on this marker just to better it in the sense of breaks and chops. Because those of you that have the cyclone feeder know that's a common part. A common problem with the phenom, and especially with the cyclone feeders. I hear the guys with the A5s don't have as much problems as the guy with the phenom, but honestly, I love this marker to bits. It's very easy to work on. It's a pleasure to play with, and it's a classic. Come on, guys, it's a phenom. It's a classic. I regard it as a classic. All right, guys. Those of you that are accustomed with the phenom will know, or anybody that's been in paintball long enough will be accustomed to the term ape rampage. So for those of you that don't know what ape rampage is basically a customizable PC board that you replace with the original one. It's an aftermarket board. So in other words, this one came out with a PC board, and it can shoot X amount of balls per second, and you can change the dwell, you can change whatever they've got there, you can change it. Right. Reason for me changing it was, once again, I wanted better efficiency out of the marker. I wanted to change the balls per second, change the shooting rate to be, how can I say, to be calibrated with the cyclone. It's a long story. It's a theory I had, but at the end of the day, the theory seemed to work, if I can call it that. I changed the normal PC board for an ape rampage. Settings vary from 5 balls per second to 30 balls per second, but we all know if you're going to shoot 30 balls per second with the wonderful paint that we are spoiled for today, you're just going to get soup. That's all you're going to get. You're going to get one big pot of soup, and trust me, I've had soup. Oh, there, I just popped the flex valve over, but anyway, I've had enough soup in this cyclone feeder that it's like coming out of my ears, so I know what it feels like. Sympathize. Struggle is real. Really real. There you have it, folks. Sweet and short. Nothing much to it. Other accessories you can add to your phenom. Sky's the limit. This one's got the AK-47 kit. I opted for this. I bought it actually with this. I never changed it because I like the entire look. I just gave it a customized spray job. Other than that, just serviced it, keep its upkeep and what have you. I don't play much with it these days because obviously I'm playing with the MG100 at the moment. I've moved over to MagFed, but this is a classic in my arsenal. There are still a lot of guys out there running X7 phenoms. A lot of guys will want to upgrade it, but yeah, there are a lot of conflicting videos out there, and not a lot of guys delve deeply into it. So I thought I'd just maybe do one of those videos. If you've missed something in somebody else's tutorial, you can maybe pick it up over here. But like I said, that's it. That's sweet and simple, very simple marker to maintain, very lovely marker to play with. Like I said as well, the only issue I've had per se was with the cyclone feeder. But then I must also admit, we used to play a lot with what was the ball? It was a GI Sport custom blend, and I never had one chop or break with it. But then, yeah, in South Africa, for some other reason, they stopped importing them. You can't get hold of them, and then we were stuck with your 1-star, 2-star, and so forth and so forth. And ever since then, I've been producing soup. So there you go. Hope this tutorial, very short tutorial, was useful, but there's not much to it. When it comes to servicing this flex valve, it's actually very easy. there are tutorials. I'm not going to go too deep in it, but basically that gets removed from that, and there's a whole assembly in there with O-rings that gets changed. And like I said, there are tutorials. I'm not going to delve too deep into it because otherwise this video is going to drag on. And like I said, it's been done before. This is just a refresher video, if I can call it that, to those guys who've forgotten, or some guys that are just too lazy to go through the entire thing. There are videos out there explaining how to do this, but I'm not going to do it. Lovely marker. Hope you enjoyed it. Till we see each other again on When the Paint Stops Flying. I'm your host, Neil Myberg. This is me, signing out.